I can't do it. We'll do it live. Okay. Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
This is Snowman in the Morning, and it begins now.
That's a spicy meatball!
Need a little excitement?
Excuse me, bitch?
You know what? That makes me mad.
I ask myself, is it worth it? I answer myself, yes, it is worth it.
Did you not get the memo?
Oh, brother. Good morning. If I don't sound as hype as I usually do, it's because this early morning heat is kicking my ass. That's about as plain as I can put it. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the late Monday edition of Snowman in the Morning. And I'm hot and I'm tired because here in the Midwest, the heat was on. And that's about all I could say. It was crazy hot Saturday and Sunday. Now, Friday and Saturday, I was in Maryville, Indiana with some friends of mine. And it was getting sticky on Friday. Saturday was awful. It was, I don't even know a word to describe how hot it was. I don't. It was stupid. To the point where, like I said, I was in Maryville visiting with some friends. And I stayed in my hotel. That's how hot it was. And then I went to cover a Railcats game on Saturday. And it was crazy there. I didn't even want to come out of the booth. I did not want to come out of the booth. That's how hot it was. Eventually I did to go get some food and to get some drink, get some water, which I drank about 2 gallons of, which I'm doing this morning. And I'm somewhat back to normal given the water I've been drinking this morning. Welcome to the show. This morning we're powered by Starbucks in Michigan City, and we're also powered by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements when genetics are just not enough. World Cup of Soccer is going on right now. I'm going to see if I can get the dog father, Robert Cobb, on tomorrow to do a full show with, because he's my soccer expert. Today, I only have one thing in mind to talk about today. That's why this is going to be a short show. And also because I am still extremely tired from the weekend. But I promise myself I will be on 5 days a week. I'm getting everything organized, so please, I beg y'all, bear with me. But I do have something in mind that I'd like to talk about. And I want to do it with a friend of mine by the name of Kervante Hurd, who's on the hotline with me right now. What up?
Hey, what it do?
Okay, I told you I had a surprise for you. I teased the fans I had a surprise for them. But the free agent watch for me is not all about LBJ. It's all about Kawhi Leonard.
True. I mean, I can see this is a very unique situation. We have the San Antonio Spurs who are never in this predicament with any player.
Right.
And then we have a guy Kawhi Leonard that doesn't talk, so he doesn't communicate well. Another thing that these are things we don't see in San Antonio. So this is big news. Like, this has to be like the biggest story to come out of San Antonio. David Robinson left.
We haven't heard this kind of news ever out of San Antonio.
Yeah, ever. That's what makes this so big.
And the crazy part is, even when they were going through their down years, you never heard this kind of miscommunication in San Antonio. So this is huge.
Yeah, they were never in this much, turmoil. Like, this is the first year I think they haven't won 50 games in like a while.
In 20 years. I mean, they won 48, but they'd only guarded them the 7th seed in the West, which would tell you how strong the Western Conference is. And for them to go out as quiet as they did, granted they were playing the defending world champions, I've never seen San Antonio, not to say that they play timid, because they don't. They were just so short-handed.
Yeah. But they still play, their ball. They played their San Antonio
They sure did.
So
Let's stay in Texas. I'll ask this question. Is this the end of the line for Manu and Tony Parker?
it has got to be, man. Because I'm tired of seeing them look like a shell of themselves, man. They
Right.
look so old.
Right.
But Tony Parker will show you spurts of his old stuff, kind of like what Dwayne Wade does. You'll see him have a phenomenal game or a couple phenomenal quarters, and it's like, dang, all right, he still got a little bit left in the tank. But then you won't see it no more for like a couple months. So I'm like, just let it go. Like, y'all have phenomenal careers. Y'all have X amount of championships, because they all came at different years. But, just let it. It's okay. It's cool. Pop is going to be all right.
But it'll be so weird. It'll be so weird not to see them in uniform if this is it.
Yeah, it's different because they've been playing so long and so consistent.
And so well.
Yeah. For so long, so well, and so consistent. Like, we don't see this often, especially among players and organizations, because free agency money is different. Folks are leaving a heartbeat now.
Yeah.
And it's hard to look at a team that's had their players for more than 10 years.
Well, we're going to touch on that in a moment, but I teased the fans throughout the weekend, and you saw it. I've got the ultimate what if for Kawhi Leonard. Now, before I reveal what it is, wait, what? You know how my brain works.
Here we go. That's
okay.
All I'm saying. Here we go.
I will make two prefaces before I reveal this what if scenario. One,
they're all crazy.
They're
all crazy.
Yeah, you said that about Kevin Durant 2 summers ago, and look what happened. But anyway,
I guess.
I will make two prefaces. Besides the fact that this is the craziest one I've ever come up with in the 5 years I've done the show.
Okay.
One, I do not, listen to me carefully, folks, I do not expect this to happen. But I'm putting it out there for entertainment purposes only. And two, he's already made clear the teams that he would like to be traded to. But here it is. And I know Cravante is going to laugh in my face. He is probably going to scream, yell, and cuss at me.
Ah! Here we go.
You ready?
Ah! You better make some people out here ready.
All right. Here it is. Hold on to your seats, folks. Imagine Kawhi Leonard in the Bay.
I know what you're thinking, people. Why? Why are you doing this? I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
I want you to know right now, your viewership either went up or went down just now.
Do
just
not.
right now.
I think it went
Either
up.
they're calling people to say, hey, listen what Snowman is saying. Or I'm cutting this off. One of the two just happened.
They'll cut it off, but then they'll cut it back on.
He was playing, right?
All I said was, what if? I made sure I prefaced this statement with 2 words. What if? All right? Let's have some fun here. I'll make a third preface statement. The Warriors are already sitting at $129 million in salary with just 8 players on the roster. All right? So they've got very little wiggle room as it is in maintaining their core. And they're doing the right thing in maintaining their core. All right? Let's just put that out there also. But what if the wildest of the wild were to happen? And Kawhi Leonard moved from Texas to California, Northern California.
I think they'll win 77 games, and I don't think the NBA will be worth watching until about the end of May.
But the NBA, if you think about it, ain't worth watching now.
We'll watch Christmas
to see what the uniforms they have on,
and they'll watch the All-Star break,
right?
And they'll watch May. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna watch Christmas, the All-Star break, and then in May. That's what we're gonna do.
Did you say 77 games?
77.
Because with the core they have now, they could easily win 74 if they stay healthy. As a matter of fact, I will tell you honestly, if the Warriors hadn't gone through such health crisis this year, I think they would have won 70.
Yeah.
But let's put some lineups together.
60 is easy.
Too easy. They've averaged 66 wins in the last 4 years.
Got that a couple times.
Right. They've averaged 66 wins in the last 4 years. And this being the lowest at 58. And this is the most they've struggled to win a title. If you think about it, they struggled so hard to get to the finals, and then they mopped the floor with LeBron and the Cleveland Cavaliers when they got to the finals.
Yep. I saw it.
Now add Kawhi Leonard to this mix.
Yep. 77. That's how we get 77.
Imagine a front line. Let's just go ahead and mess with the front lines here, because the backcourt's going to stay the same, and you have to put for all intents and purposes that Steph Curry and Klay Thompson will remain healthy throughout the course of the season.
Sure.
Imagine a front line of Draymond Green, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard.
That's sick. It's a problem. That's a problem.
How much of a problem?
Nasty.
How much of a problem is it?
That's a nasty green lineup.
How much of a problem is it?
It's a huge problem because, like I told you, 77.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
That's what I mean. That's how much of a problem it's going to be. 77.
77.
That's how much of a problem it's going to be. But that's not even that wouldn't even be my favorite lineup.
What would your favorite lineup be?
My favorite lineup would be we're gonna take out Draymond and insert Iggy.
Oh Lord.
That right there is my favorite deadly lineup.
Do you know how many nights they score?
Will go 2 ways.
Wait a minute. Do you know how many nights they score 140 with that lineup?
Right.
And even if you rest Draymond, you got 140.
Right. But that lineup, everybody goes 2 ways.
True. And
so that's why it's like they could drop. They could look like an all-star team for real and drop and give you 135, 140 without overtime.
Without Draymond and this is just not Draymond not starting, folks. The defensive rotation they could put together with that scary lineup is scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now try this one.
course.
Now try this one. You want a death lineup? Here it is. I'll say it again. I do not expect this deal to happen, but I'm just giving y'all an ultimate what if. And I think every day I'm going to come up with one of these. And I'm going to have you on the air with me to talk about it.
Oh, God.
Okay, you ready? Here's this lineup. And I'm thinking strictly defense. All right?
Okay.
Keep the Splash Brothers where they are. Across the front, Leonard, Durant, and JaVale McGee.
That's a lot of length, man. That's a lot of length in that backcourt.
6'8", 7 foot, and 7'1".
Yuck. Yuck.
That's Bird McHale and Parrish from back in the day.
Ew. Yeah. Why would you even do that? Like, that's mismatches all over the place. Like, they were actually have you realized like the Warriors have like lost the rebounding battle all year? They were actually
and they're still the
rebounding battle.
And they're still the world champions. They've lost the rebounding battle all year, and they're still the world champions.
Back to back. 3 out of 4.
Yep. Now, let's tweak the lineup again.
They got those deadly sniper shooters out there.
You think? Up and down the floor?
And KD.
Man,
arguably the best scorer of all time.
KD just tips the scales unfairly in favor of the Warriors.
Yeah, there's no reason for him to be.
Houston found that out the hard way.
Do the things that he does.
Listen, Houston found that out the hard way in Game 7, and Cleveland found that out the hard way in Game 3 when the Splash Brothers were rarely off. Rarely off.
Yeah.
Okay? The Splash Brothers.
KD did that again.
Yep. In case y'all missed Game 3 of the finals, Clay and Steph went 7 for 27, had a combined 21 points, and Kevin Durant doubled that on his own, hit the same shot that he did last year, only 5 feet deeper.
Oh, damn, that's deja vu. Deja vu. Except this time, the LeBron James didn't want no parts of him.
He passed. Why did you put George Hill on Kevin Durant? Why did he pass off George Hill to Kevin Durant?
On that shot, I think that was Rodney Hood. It was like a switch.
Oh, was that Hood?
I was gonna say it was Rodney Hood.
You might be
right.
It
was either Rodney Hood or J.R. Smith. I know for sure it wasn't LeBron.
I know LeBron passed somebody off to Durant. You might be right. It might have been. It might have been Rodney Hood.
He had 2 of those shots.
Yes.
He had 2 of those shots, and one LeBron was on him.
Yep.
And then he switched off on Steph. So that happened twice. But that 5-footer, the one 5 foot deeper, LeBron nowhere to be found.
The shot that killed the Cavs in Game 3 was the only 3-point goal that Steph hit, which stretched the lead to 4 at 101-97, because Steph got the ball, took 2 dribbles, and everybody ran away from him, and they left him wide open. Why?
I don't know. I think he was surprised. Like, what?
That was the easiest shot he hit all night.
Yep. Much needed. Much needed.
Now, let's tweak the lineup. Let's tweak the lineup again. Now, y'all know I love messing with lineups. I've done this throughout the entirety of the show. How would you construct a lineup without the Splash Brothers? Give them the night off from starting and still get 120 points? Kawhi, Draymond, Kevin Durant, Iguodala, and Sean Livingston.
Right. Yep. That's why I said if you want to take the Splash Brothers out, you got to put Sean in that thing.
Man, the Splash Brothers can rest with that kind of lineup, and they can still give you 120 points.
And be locking folks down defensively.
It'll be
because that's a lot of length. Because with Iggy and Sean in the, that's a lot of length on the perimeter.
Yep. You're talking 6'6" for Iguodala and 6'7" for Livingston.
And his arms are pretty long, too.
Mm-hmm.
He got like Kawhi Leonard arms.
Yes. And Kawhi Leonard has the biggest damn hands I've ever seen since Michael Jordan. And we all know Michael Jordan had some mitts on him, all right?
Yep. That's why he get his hands on that ball. Quick, fast, in a hurry.
Have you ever seen Michael Jordan make so many one-handed pickoffs in terms of getting a steal or getting a rebound and stuff like that? I've never seen that. No. Kawhi Leonard may be the closest thing to getting all those one-handed pickoffs.
Him at who else? Scotty did it.
Scotty got
too.
A lot of them too. Yeah, right. Imagine Kawhi Leonard under the defensive tutelage of Draymond Green.
Yeah. Yeah. That's all I got to say. Yeah.
Because Draymond already got to Kevin Durant. Think about it. The first year they won with Kevin Durant, Draymond told KD, I need you more on defense. Have you seen how his defense has improved since that conversation?
Yeah, big time. Huge. He's getting blocks, top of blocks, on top of blocks, all over the place. Like, he's really a defensive guy.
The last 2 years, just ask the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah,
now,
he's out here. He's out here playing like a real 7-footer on defense.
Right. I mean, getting in especially doing something he rarely did in OKC, getting in the passing lanes.
Right. Yep. That is a fact.
While we're talking free agents,
yep.
And I'll get back to the Kawhi Leonard scenarios in a moment. We're live here in Michigan City, Indiana. I got Cravante Hurd of the Flex Zone on the line with me talking ultimate what if and free agency in the NBA. What's going to happen in Oklahoma City?
They are. That has to be. I can't really think about all the organizations that's doing things like this.
Right.
Like as far as goofiness is concerned, they are at the top. I feel like they are at the top. Forget Brooklyn, forget Orlando.
Right.
OKC is at the top, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I'll tell you why. First of all, they picked up Paul George, and then that wasn't the bad part. I'm getting there.
Okay.
Carmelo Anthony. Why? But why did you pick up a player who's nearing the end? I think his prime is over. I ain't gonna lie. I think the prime is over.
Yeah.
Once you start getting this Carmelo Anthony body that he got now, I think his prime is over. A guy who's leaving his prime,
right,
who played just like your star player.
Right.
Why would you do that? And then you have the nerve to give him this very favorable contract where he could easily opt in and they can't do nothing about it.
Oh, you know what? My brain just turned sideways. I got another ultimate what if. And you're not going to like me for this.
Oh.
I already mentioned Kawhi Leonard somehow winding up in the Bay. Somehow
Okay.
Somehow, I don't expect. I will say it again. I don't expect this to happen because of the cap space, because of where the players declare they want to go, and also the fact that Golden State also has their core in place for at least the next 2 years, and you don't want to disturb that kind of chemistry.
Of course.
But if you add Kawhi Leonard and you add PG-13 to that already strong core,
whew. You shouldn't even be able to do the things you do, sir.
And you wonder why I have so much fun doing this.
Of course. Of course.
But let's go back to Oklahoma City for a moment. You add PG-13, who I think is out of there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You
yeah,
add Carmelo Anthony, who is well beyond his prime. I'll ask you, because you're the first one that posed this question on my show. Why did they take Carmelo Anthony? Why, like you said, an all-time goofiness in free agency.
Like currently, like among the NBA, currently. Like forget all, think about all the goofiness that's happened to these different teams. Like
right.
You could throw Phoenix in there, you could throw Brooklyn in there, you could throw the Kings in there. No, Oklahoma City. Look what they're doing.
Topped them all.
Topped them all.
They topped them all.
Like how? How are you? How and why? Who okayed this? Somebody needs to get fired.
It wasn't me.
Somebody
I know that much.
Somebody needs to get fired.
Somebody needs to lose their job. Somebody needs to lose their job. Somebody needs to lose their parking space. Somebody needs to lose something.
Like, you messed yourself up not only this past year, because somehow, some way, Russell Westbrook still averaged a triple-double, which meant nothing changed. And then you possibly messed yourself up for next year. Mm-hmm. Because Carmelo Anthony could opt in for what, 28 million?
I think they messed themselves up for the next few years, especially money-wise.
Yeah, because first of all, he messed up personnel-wise because nobody want to come to OKC now because Russell Westbrook is not a guy you can win with.
Can I get a witness?
Amen. I'm here.
Can I get a witness?
Amen. I am here.
Listen, I have spoken about this when it comes to Russell Westbrook since 2015. The year Kevin Durant was injured, the 2014-2015 season, and it became Russell Westbrook's team, that's when I feel Oklahoma City went down the tubes. Let's take a look at what happened since then. Since it became Russell Westbrook's team, do you realize they've only averaged 44 wins in those seasons? 44.
I'm just saying, man. Just saying.
Because you can't win with a player like Russell Westbrook. I said this on my show, and people think I'm nuts. The proof is in the pudding. Triple doubles be damned. Okay? The proof is in the pudding.
The proof is in the ingredients. Like, I don't understand, like, why. We don't even have to make the whole pudding.
No, we don't.
Just put it together, but don't mix it. Just put it all in the bowl and don't mix it. It's there.
Think of every player that Russell Westbrook, and yes, I blame Russell Westbrook for ruining this potential OKC dynasty. Think of the players that he ran out of Oklahoma City. Kevin Durant, James Harden, Serge Ibaka, and the coach that put it all together, Scott Brooks. He ran them all out of there.
I think, but you know what? I think now I'm a back him on one of them.
All right.
Because I don't think this was his fault per se. The James Harden thing, we all knew James Harden's potential. It wasn't no way he was coming off the bench any longer.
Truth.
He was going to be a star. Like, we knew he was going to be a star in the making, and he was going to get paid. He was going to get broke off.
Truth.
He needed his own team.
Truth.
I don't think it was much turmoil. It's just like, you know what, guys? It's been fun. We almost did it, but I gotta go because.
Oh, and I'll give you that.
Because I'm great in my own right, and I don't think I can be great with y'all.
I will definitely give you that. I'll definitely give you that. You speak truth there. You speak truth. I'll give you that. But the other players that he ran off, Kevin Durant, Serge Ibaka.
He definitely, for sure. We saw him run KD out.
Yep.
Like, That was the clearest one. And we knew Scott Brooks, because first of all, I'll tell you one thing. Scott Brooks, he really didn't have no control of this team.
No, he didn't.
He really did. Like,
and if
he
you
put
think
together,
about it,
but
if you think about it carefully, after Harden left, all hell broke loose.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he created a monster, and he couldn't control it.
Nope. And Lord knows Billy Donovan can't.
Lord, I was like, man, all right, I was like, he's not gonna last long at all. He come fresh out of college, and I was like, oh, he's not gonna last long at all. Ain't no way.
He wasn't ready to deal with the monster that is Russell Westbrook at all. Period.
And then they had the nerve to put Paul George and Carmelo Anthony on the team. I'm like, why? That's how I know Billy Donovan couldn't have had nothing to do with this.
They kept Billy Donovan in the dark about these two.
Which is messed up because who's going to be the one to get fired?
Billy Donovan?
Yep. He's messed up. That's how they operate.
He's going to be the fall guy. In fact, let me put two conditions out there for the demise of Billy Donovan. If, A, they don't win at least 50, and B, they don't make the playoffs. Either one of those two happen, Billy Donovan's out of there. Period.
That's a damn shame because who are they going to get to coach this damn team? Because they're going to run into the same problem. Westbrook is a problem.
Big time problem.
And you paid him long term, so this is your guy. This is your franchise guy. Ain't no getting rid of him.
And the franchise guy doesn't act like a franchise guy and trust his teammates. Michael Jordan come to mind? Because if you think about it, let's go back to the Jordan era. Phil Jackson had to get MJ to trust his teammates. It took me until MJ fully retired in 2003 to understand the difference between Doug Collins' coaching style and Phil Jackson's coaching style. Doug Collins wanted MJ to do everything, okay? That is obvious to me. And MJ is a worldwide talent. We've seen that for 15 seasons. But it took the mind of Phil Jackson to turn Michael from, as weird as this is going to sound, hang with me on this one. It took the mind and the teachings of Phil Jackson to turn Michael from a superstar into his airness. Because
give that to him one more time. Give that to him one more time.
It took the mind of the Zen master Phil Jackson to take Michael Jordan and turn him from a superstar into his airness.
That's strong.
In fact, I'll go one step further. If you think about how MJ trusted his teammates during all the championship years, and even the first year, even the year they didn't win the championship, 1990, when they lost to 7 in Detroit, it took the mind and the teachings of Phil Jackson to turn Michael Jordan from superstar to legend, because Michael trusted his teammates as well as his instinct. And and it took me a while to understand it. Quite honestly, it took me a long while to understand why that transformation.
Still a great coach, but obviously he doesn't get the credit because of how he handled Jordan.
Right. But think about it. You saw the changes coming. You saw the changes. You saw the changes coming from 86 to 89, and then that light jump from 89 to 90, when MJ began to involve his teammates more. In fact, that season, it was 89 where he had 7 straight triple doubles when Doug Collins had an experiment starting MJ at point guard. Good Lord, what an experiment! And then Phil Jackson shows up. MJ is wondering, what the hell happened to my coach? Phil got in his head and said, you got to trust your teammates. You can't shoulder the load all of the time. And at that point in time, we also saw the maturation of one Scottie Pippen.
Yeah. What a perfect person to come in.
You know, and Scotty had his own goals from the migraine headache in Game 7 against Detroit in 1990. Who were the first two people to comfort Scotty in that rough time? MJ and Phil Jackson.
Right.
And it took that 7-game series with Scotty to turn him from defensive dynamo to defensive legend. Because how often are you going to get a chance to defend one of the best forwards in all time in James Worthy? In the finals. In the finals.
Facts.
So now what does OKC, getting back to current times, do to, and I hate using this word because it'll never happen, but I'm going to use it anyway. How do they curtail Russell Westbrook? If possible.
I don't know. You gotta get a guy that didn't just come from college to do this.
Right.
It's no way. You need an established guy who can do this.
Which prompts this question: Who the hell would take that challenge?
Man, that's a good question, man. Who would take it? Who would want it? Who would want to endure that? I know it was some things moving around. Did Jason Kidd get picked up yet?
I do not think so.
That may be, I don't know, that may be something to look into because how many old heads out there still coaching outside of Pop?
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I still think, Milwaukee was, a little sketchy for what they did to Jay Kidd, but,
a little sketchy.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason Kidd was about to take that team to the top of the East.
Yeah, but you know how them folks upstairs are. They're a little impatient.
You ain't got to tell me twice.
But maybe Mark Jackson, if he wasn't blackballed,
He was blackballed. Okay, he was blackballed.
And,
let's just go ahead. Let's just go ahead and
put
it out there.
Blackball, maybe Mark Jackson.
But you know something? One thing I love about Mark Jackson is the praise that he gives his former team and its current coach, because he's
no hard feelings because he knows it wasn't him.
No, he knows it wasn't all him. Steve Kerr told him as such. Hell, they were competitors for many, many years. And I see this in front of me, courtesy of the San Francisco Examiner. You want to know the scariest thing for the NBA right now? A coaching contract extension for Steve Kerr.
Because he has a hell of a system going on.
Dude, I can't say you can't plug anybody in that system, and it would be a good look. But at the same time, given what Steve Kerr knows from the coaches he's learned under, I mean, good grief. What can you do? Let's look at Detroit hiring Dwayne Casey.
Which I knew. Toronto is goofy. Matter of fact, it's OKC, then Toronto. and that goofy bit of how about that? Toronto. Why? How are you a coach of the year candidate
and you get fired?
That's like getting employee of the year or employee of the month and then getting fired the next month.
I actually had that happen.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
Like that doesn't correlate. Like
Not
what?
only,
like you must have had to do something egregious to get fired, to get terminated.
But
like,
what? Will we ever find out what?
The Toronto Raptors don't have a good track record when it comes to playing against LeBron.
No.
Now, getting swept was a bit much, but still, they won how many games? They won. They just broke their franchise record for wins.
59 games. They won 59. And they fired
Dwayne Casey. They
just broke
that record. Like, that was the thing. And then you fire this man after getting swept by LeBron? I think that's that bad.
You're playing LeBron, for Christ's sakes, okay?
You're playing LeBron. And on top of that, look at the track record for when the Raptors play LeBron.
Exactly.
Or should I say specifically Kyle Lowry,
Yes.
who I think needs to go.
Lowry needs to get the hell out of there. Okay? Now, this coaching carousel, as we look at it, started with Charlotte taking down Steve Clifford. And that's after failing to make the playoffs for a second straight year. So now they hire San Antonio assistant James Borrego as a coach. That could be a good fit.
Okay, that's a good look.
That's a good. It is indeed a good look because you're plucking from the San Antonio coaching tree. And who's the head of that? Greg Popovich.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So how does Dwayne Casey? I'll go back to my original question. How does Dwayne Casey fit in with the Detroit Pistons?
It's going to be tough. It's definitely going to be tough because Detroit's in a weird, funny situation.
Mm-hmm.
They started off so well last year.
Yeah.
And then,
the
they
bottom
hit
fell
like
out.
an all-time skid, and we ain't hear from them because they was number one. They were number one in the East for like a week or so.
And they went to Oakland and won.
Yeah.
They won in Oracle Arena.
Right. So, I mean, hopefully Dwayne Casey brings his patience, number one. He got to figure out what he's going to do with, what's the guy's name? Is it Reggie Jackson? Did I make that up?
I think so.
Yeah, got to figure out what he's going to do with him. Is this your guy or is it not? And he got to change the culture. Because, Detroit ain't won nothing since
2004.
Not the Bad Boys, but since Chauncey and them.
2004.
You know what I'm saying? So, and even then, Detroit was never a top-tier organization.
Right.
So he's going to have to bring, first of all, his patience, his winnings, and he got to figure out what he got to do at the point guard position.
Right.
So I mean, he definitely has work cut out for him, but I knew he was going to get the job very quickly because what happened in Toronto is BS.
So now Mike Budenholzer out in Atlanta, in Milwaukee. I see a little chicanery here. I'm sorry.
You see what?
I see a little chicanery here with this hire. Into his fourth season. And then you give me
and I want to see great things out of Milwaukee, but they don't know what they're doing up top.
No, they don't. I'm afraid it will, because he's so used to Jason Kidd.
That's a big thing too.
Yeah.
Gotta figure that out, because he's a really good talent if he can stay healthy.
Truth. Now, the mess that is the New York Knicks.
Cut it off. I'm out of here.
You done? All right, we won't go there. Oh, you want to talk? You want to talk goofy? You want to talk goofy?
What's up?
How about the mess that is the Orlando Tragic?
I'd rather talk about the Knicks. God dang it. I think they haven't been right. Yeah, obviously they haven't been right since the whole Dwight Howard debacle. And I'm so glad Debo got out of there when he did. Oh my gosh.
Oh Lord.
And it sucked because his next step was OKC.
Was.
But then I like his landing spot currently. Orlando, I feel like they don't want to. I feel like they don't want a basketball team for real.
They don't want to win. They don't want to win. They built the Amway Center because of Dwight Howard, and he's long gone.
Long gone.
Do we even want to know what'll fix the New York Knicks?
Do I want to know what? I don't. What?
Like I said, do we even fathom a thought as to how to fix this franchise?
Well, I tell you right now, for the Knicks specifically, it's the guy up top.
Yes. James Dolan.
That's been a thing for a while.
James Dolan.
That's been a thing for a while.
14 years worth.
Like a while. Like why? But unfortunately, he's kind of the owner, so it's like
but still, he's the reason they're in the toilet.
He has to delegate.
He's the reason they're in the toilet.
He needs to delegate and be more hands off.
And not only is he, I want to be sure I get this right, not only is he the owner of the Knicks, he's also the owner of MSG. Yikes.
It's a lot of money out there, man. It's a lot of money.
And it's the Mecca capital of the NBA, New York.
Yeah, of basketball, period.
Thank you. It's the basketball Mecca. It's New York. But these ain't
New York got a famous playground.
Rucker Park.
I'm just saying.
I mean, you got. All right, while we're talking goofy hoops, have the Brooklyn Nets done anything since they came to Brooklyn?
Nope. And that's why Jay-Z got out of there.
Jay-Z got the hell out when he did.
Like, oh no, ain't nothing going on here, player. Ain't nothing going on here.
Should have seen that coming from New Jersey, and New Jersey's governor certainly didn't do him any favors.
No, of course not.
With his message saying, quote, my message to them is goodbye, you didn't have a hand in wanting them to stay in the first place. If you'd have had a hand in getting them to Prudential Arena, then maybe they would have stuck around. But it wasn't because of him. I think that if the Nets would have lived out their 2-year deal at Prudential Arena, they'd still be in New Jersey, and they probably would probably be raising hell in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
Right. What if the Nets stayed in New Jersey and shared Prudential Arena with the Devils? You know how much money that would be?
A ridiculous amount.
Because I will tell you honestly, except for 1 year, which is 2013, when they lost in 7 to a shorthanded Chicago Bulls team in the first round, which kind of made my mother angry, but I was laughing my ass off in Game 7. The Nets haven't done anything. Why are they in Brooklyn?
New York, man. New York. That's it. New York.
Look, the Nets had New Jersey. They were in New York during their ABA years, and then they moved to New Jersey. They got a couple finals appearances. They had some playoff appearances under their belt. They had the arena they needed in the Prudential Center. The Prudential Center was willing to work out a co-tenant situation. They already had the Devils. They wanted the Nets. They wanted the Prudential Center wanted the New Jersey Nets because the Meadowlands Arena was falling apart. Prudential Center said, hey, we got a place for you. And they didn't take the deal.
I don't know.
You want to talk about goofy? You want to talk about goofy?
Yeah, yeah.
Cravante Hurd joining me to chat this morning on this Monday, on this hot Monday, talking all things NBA, from coaching hires to what-if situations to imagine Kawhi with Golden State. Oh, brother.
Ah! It was fun, man.
Fun having you on, brother. Thanks for the time.
I appreciate it, man. Please, come back sometime.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right.
I will never come up with another what-if situation like that again. Never. At least I don't think I will. What do you guys think? What do you think would happen if Kawhi Leonard signed with the world champion Golden State Warriors? Just out of pure, unadulterated, what-the-hell coincidence. Let me know your thoughts. Tweet the show at SIT Morning. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter at SIT Morning. Thanks to our network thanks to our network syndicating the show, including 3 and Out Radio, including KNHB Radio, our flagship Arena Sportsnet, the Lake County Sports Network. And if you want to be a part of this, drop an email to snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. If you want to be a sponsor, drop an email to snowmaninthemorning@gmail.com. I'm supposed to have another guest on right now. Let's go ahead and handle that right now while we're in the process of, because I certainly was going to step out, but then again, I am reminded that I think Chris Dietz is supposed to join me this morning. So we're going to try to get him on here, and I think I have him on. What up, Chris?
Hello?
Can you hear me all right?
Hello?
Yo, Dietz, can you hear me?
Hey,
How's it going, brother?
it's going all right.
Okay. I have the ultimate what-if situation since we were talking NBA free agency this morning. And I will make the same preface and I'll throw you the same question. I know this is not going to happen. I know all of the parameters in the situation involving money and involving a certain team that I love dearly. But I'll throw this out there at you, and I know you're probably going to shut it down in 30 seconds. But imagine Kawhi Leonard in the Bay.
So I was I'm trying to wrap my head around what Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. I don't know. I mean, where he's gonna go. The Lakers is probably the best fit for everybody involved. But I don't know if the Spurs are gonna want to set. I don't know if the Spurs are gonna want to keep him in the West.
So what would be the best landing spot for Kawhi Leonard?
Sadly, being a Celtics fan that I am, the Celtics is the best answer for everybody involved.
I'll agree with that.
The problem is, does Kawhi Leonard want to be in Boston? And if Kawhi Leonard's not going to sign long term, there's no reason to make any kind of trade.
Truth.
You know, there's no reason from a Celtics point of view to trade the kind of assets it's going to take to get Kawhi Leonard.
Right.
And then in that case, you know, you got to think he's got 2 years on his contract with the Spurs.
Right.
So they're in control of Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard can't just say, well, he can't just pull this thing that he did last year where he says, oh, I'm not going to play. Well, if I'm the Spurs, then you know Greg Popovich is going to say, fine, don't play. Retire. Because we're not trading you. We're not trading you for a bag of balls. We're not trading you for whatever the Lakers can give you. They're going to have to give up a lot of their young talent. Are the Lakers going to actually do that if they say, hey, wait, we can just get this guy in free agent in a year? So Kawhi Leonard's a very weird situation. It's a very strange situation.
Strange being the operative word. Chris Dietz on the line with Dietz's Sports Chatter here on this Monday morning. Who else in free agency, besides the obvious answer, is in position to strike a major deal?
Well, besides the one guy that everybody talks about, and then the interesting case is going to be Paul George. That's going to tell you what is going on. If Paul George signs with it. What I've heard, and my sources on this, I've heard that he would like to stay in Oklahoma City.
What?
I've heard that he's been working out with Russell Westbrook. So if he doesn't go to the Lakers, or if he doesn't have a connection with LeBron James, that he's not going to go somewhere just on his own. That he would like to stay. He would like to stay in Oklahoma City and run it back.
Why? Why would he want to stay?
That's what I've heard. I've heard he's comfortable with Russell Westbrook, and
what?
To me, it makes perfect sense for what I think Paul George is.
Which is
a complimentary player. I don't see Paul George as the take charge. All right, here's let him be the guy.
Right.
I think he is another guy. And when he's in Oklahoma City, he's got the focus isn't going to be on Paul George. It's going to be on Russell Westbrook. It's going to be on Carmelo coming off the bench.
Gotcha.
He can just kind of slide into that position of, hey, I'm a great player and I'm here, but the focus isn't going to be on me when things go bad.
Mm-hmm. I see where you're coming from with that.
It makes sense from that point of view. From that point of view, it makes sense for him to be in a position. Because if he goes to the Lakers, if LeBron doesn't come, he's the guy. Mm-hmm. And if the Lakers fail, everybody's going to say, well, we can't trust Paul George anymore.
Why aren't they saying that in Oklahoma City? Is it just because he's a complimentary player?
They're never going to say that. Everything revolves, and this is a metaphor, but it's the absolute truth. Everything revolves around Russell Westbrook. The ball, shots, rebounds, assists, anything that is on a basketball court in Oklahoma City revolves around Russell Westbrook.
Right.
So any talk, and anytime anybody talks, they always talk about if you talk Oklahoma City basketball, it's Russell Westbrook first, everything else second.
Right.
And they've got everything else you can think of to talk about other than Paul George. They've got everything else. You could put all the blame on Carmelo Anthony, like they always, like they have been doing. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not Russ's fault. It's not Paul George's fault. It was Carmelo. So we want Carmelo to come off the bench.
But why won't they ever blame Russell Westbrook? Everything circles around him.
It's that sports mentality of Russell Westbrook is our guy. Russell Westbrook is doing something that we've never seen, averaging a triple-double twice in a row. Nobody's ever done that. We need to keep this guy. We saw what happened to Kevin Durant, where he got run out of town, and now everybody around Oklahoma City is going to circle around Russell because they're afraid Russell's, if Russell gets upset, he'll leave, and then you got nothing.
But then where would Russell Westbrook go? If he gets so upset to the point where he leaves, considering the fact that he is the alpha male, he is the top dog, he is the guy in OKC, and that started in 2014, where would he go?
Well, putting it in Russell's shoes, Russ is a dominant guy. He's a California kid. He's a UCLA kid. You could any of those teams. You could see. He went to Oklahoma City with Durant. He when Durant left, he carried Oklahoma City. So you could see him going. Couldn't you see him going to the Clippers? I think his number one choice would be to play for the Lakers, but you could easily see him saying, I'll play for the Clippers. I've played with nothing before. I'll play with nothing again. I could see him going to basically any team in the West and saying, basically any California team, and saying, I'll go there and be happy in my California lifestyle and dominating the ball.
But would it not cross your mind about winning championships anymore? I mean, he's had one taste of the finals. That was 2012. Came close 4 years later. Does it not concern him?
Russ is built that way.
Really?
I don't think Russ is built. Russ is not. I don't think Russell Westbrook would be. I think if he made that decision, I don't think he could be. I don't think he can make the Kevin Durant decision. I don't think he could join up with a rival team. I don't think he could make the decision to say, you know what, I'm going to take a back seat to the team. I'm gonna go somewhere where I can just stand around and win a championship. Russell Westbrook is a different kind of cat. He is the kind of guy that has to be, if we're going to win a championship, it's going to be because I won us a championship. It's not going to be because he joined up with a whole bunch of stars. Russell Westbrook is that guy, and he's built a persona on that. If he did do that, I think we would look at it a lot differently. It would be a lot of the first year of Kevin Durant when everybody said, "Oh, Kevin Durant is just chasing a championship." It would be like that, but Russ would never shake it. Kevin Durant's kind of been able to deflect that and say, "I got my 2 championships." And everybody celebrates him for it. I think Russ would be demised for it.
Really? Why do you think so?
And not to mention, would he be demised by the people? I think himself, he wouldn't be the Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook has to be the alpha dog, has to be the guy with the ball in his hand. He has to do that. I don't think he would like it. I think he might win a championship and then just absolutely leave, because he would be that. I mean, I'm putting myself and my own segments into what Russell would probably feel. But to me, that's how I think he would handle it, is that he would say, I hate this. It's not fun. It's not the way I want to play.
Gotcha.
So that's why I think he would have to go somewhere where he is the number one option.
Scary thought. So you mentioned the Lakers, you mentioned the Clippers. Would there be any other team that would give him that opportunity?
I mean, any of those teams. You got the Clippers, the King. Any team that's really down on that doesn't have a number one star, and those teams are getting less and less and less because guys keep going together. An interesting scenario, and you mentioned guys who are going to be big in free agency talk. Mm-hmm. The other guy who's going to stir the pot, I mentioned Paul George. The other guy who's going to stir the pot a little bit is Chris Paul. What does Chris Paul decide to do? Because everybody knows he's best friends with LeBron James.
Yep.
So if he does go somewhere else other than Houston, if he doesn't re-sign with Houston, if he goes somewhere else, the story's going to be, well, Chris Paul signed there. We're waiting on the other guy who I know you don't like to talk about, so I'm not going to mention his name. But is he going to bring that other guy along with him? And that's gonna, it's kind of like, all right, we made the broth. Now we got to throw the chicken in. Now we got to throw the main ingredient in. So if he signs somewhere, that's going to talk. If he re-signs with Houston, then the talk of, will this be a super team? Will they bring somebody else in? But the reason I mention that is, what if Chris Paul leaves Houston?
Right.
Wouldn't that be wouldn't that be a fit for a guy like a Russell Westbrook?
So where
Get
would
back with Hart?
so
go
where
back
would Chris
with Harden
Paul?
and
But where
and
would Chris?
try to run that.
Yeah, you got a point. But the backside of that equation is where would Chris Paul go?
If he doesn't resign with Houston, then the only option that I could see is Chris Paul being on the phone with your guy there, and they decide to go somewhere together.
So where would
That's
LBJ and Chris Paul go if they make that connection and make that call? Where would they go? Where would the landing spot be for LeBron and CP3?
It's pretty easy to figure. I mean, the Lakers are always going to be the top choice.
Truth.
For they have the money to do it.
Truth.
The question is how much are they invested in Lonzo Ball?
Right.
Because obviously, if you bring in CP3, then Lonzo Ball's taking a back seat, going to the bench,
Yep.
or getting shipped out of town. Which after this year, who would want to even entertain having Lonzo Ball?
Right.
Lonzo Ball is kind of he's kind of like Rajon Rondo light. I mean, and
I see the comparison.
The NBA
I see the comparison.
The NBA is going away from that.
Right.
You need, in this day and age, you need a point guard who can shoot.
Right.
And Lonzo Ball can't shoot. So that would be the interesting scenario. But for CP3, maybe he gets on the phone with LeBron James, and LeBron James says, "Hey, let's come to Cleveland and let's give it a run." I don't know what Cleveland's finances are,
right.
Whether they can bring him in there, but imagine if you have a competent point guard with LeBron James, Kevin Love, probably would have to ship out J.R. Smith or somebody like that.
JR would need to go.
Add J.R. Smith. If you still had J.R. Smith there, you got your spot-up shooter. You got LeBron. You got Kevin Love. You got a point guard that can actually make decisions.
Yeah, but who leaves? That's the question. Who leaves?
That's the decision that you would have to figure out who they can get rid of. I mean, can they ship Tristan Thompson off somewhere, or can they? How can they do it financially? That I don't know.
That would have to be a question
to make it fit financially. That's how they would have to do it. But at the same time, does LeBron come to CP3 and say, "Hey, we can challenge if you come here. Take a little less money up front, and I'll get you paid on the back end."
Mm-hmm. Which is what he did for Tristan Thompson and J.R. Smith the year they won the World Championship, 2016. And aside of the Lakers, aside of possibly Cleveland, you can pretty much expect CP3 and LBJ basically being a package deal. Can you not assume that?
I think that's what everybody's hinting to, and I think that's why I said it on my show on Wednesday night.
And you made a great point in doing so.
That we'll find out what LeBron James is thinking on June 29th. There's no reason to talk LeBron James until June 29th because that's his opt-out. If he re-signs with Cleveland, it becomes a two-headed process of all right, he's either staying in Cleveland and building something in Cleveland, or it's a sign and trade, and then there's only a couple teams who can actually sign and trade for LeBron. If he opts out, then we can start having the discussion of Lakers, San Antonio now that they're losing Kawhi? Would they be in play? It would be then we can have that discussion. Otherwise, we have to wait and see whether he opts out or not.
Chris Dees joining the show here on this Monday, talking NBA free agency. Who goes where? Who lands where? And you made an absolutely terrific point, and I'll echo this before we close up shop here. We can't say anything until he makes his decision on the 29th. Totally true with that statement. And I know I've picked on you about LBJ, and I've said this, and I'll say it again. I will continue to say it. I'm not denying, and nor will I ever deny, that he is an incredible talent. He's a 3-time champion. Would I put him in my top 5? In my heart of hearts, yes, I would. You heard it here. In my heart of hearts, yes, I would. I just love having the argument with some of the folks about LBJ. But denying his greatness, that would be stupid.
Well, I said it. I said it again. We did a show last week we're starting to do this on my show.
I'm just glad you're back. I'm just glad you're back on air. I missed you that 1 week you were off the air, dude.
Yeah, I know. But it was good to be back, and we're back. And what we're doing a summer of greatness. And what we did this week, last week we did greatest running backs of all time.
All right,
greatest NFL running backs of all time.
Let's touch that. Let's touch that.
The reason I did that discussion is because I think it mirrors every other choice.
It does.
When you're breaking down greatest of all time, it comes down to the person making that list, how they view their personal view of what they like. And I said it because, in my opinion, my top 2 greatest running backs are Emmitt Smith and Barry Sanders.
Dig it.
And I like the straight ahead, get in the hole and get out running backs. So my guy's Emmitt Smith. If you like the guy who dances around, makes people miss, you're going to say Barry Sanders is the best.
Right. Who else would
it's that simple.
Who else would be on your greatest running backs list besides Emmitt and Barry Sanders, both of whom I loved watching?
I had for me it was a toss up between 5 guys. I had Eric Dickerson,
okay,
Jim Brown,
yep,
Walter Payton,
agreed,
Barry Sanders, and Emmitt Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And I went through those are my 5 options. Once you get past that, then you're looking at guys like Thurman Thomas, Gale Sayers,
Where would you put?
But I focused on those top 5, but I wanted to focus on that top 2 decision because it's always a choice of Emmitt Smith was never going to wow you with, oh, look at this play or look at that play. He was going to wow you with, look at him get in the hole and he got 5 yards.
Yes.
Look at him get in the hole and break it out for 20.
Just ask the New York Giants in 1993 with the division on the line.
Playing with a broken shoulder.
Yes.
That was the broken shoulder game. That defined Emmitt Smith. But I brought that up to parallel it to the Michael Jordan, LeBron James discussion that people like to have.
And it's a
because
great
people
parallel.
like to say, oh, I like Jordan because he had all these championships. Well, if you like LeBron's style of play, if you like his style of play where he fades up and takes jump shots, you're going to like LeBron James. If you like an attacker, a guy who was never going to be stopped from going to the rim, or was going to push people out of the way to make his jump shots, you're a Michael Jordan guy.
Right.
And that's the way I feel about when we have the MJ-LeBron discussion, is I like Jordan's style, and I loved watching Jordan and his style of play. That's why he's number 1.
Right.
Because when you start breaking it down by numbers, you can fix the numbers to fit either one of their discussions.
Truth.
You can fit either one of the arguments.
Truth.
I love the people that have the argument of Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. Well, if that's your argument, then LeBron James was out of the discussion his second year in the NBA because he got rolled by the Spurs.
Right.
But my argument to people like that, and I'm like you, I don't deny LeBron being in that discussion. I like having it with people.
Yeah.
And I like having it on both sides of people. But I'll get the Michael Jordan people. He was 6-0. He was 6-0. Yeah. How many times was Michael Jordan an underdog in the finals?
Yeah, true.
Never. He was always on the best team. He was always on the better team. So you're going to punish LeBron James because he took a Cavs team that had no business being in the finals his second year and got steamrolled. So you're going to say, oh, well,
and then
LeBron's out of the discussion because he took a team that had no business being there.
And then you can add this part. You can add this part to the LeBron James discussion also, and this is just pure unadulterated fact and truth. He beat an Eastern Conference champion in the Detroit Pistons with one hell of a fourth quarter and overtime performance in Game 5, which got his team to the clinching situation in Game 6.
Exactly. You can finesse all of that stuff, and that's why I laugh when people say, "Well, Jordan was 6-0," and I'm like, "Yeah, what's his conference finals record?" Because I'm sure LeBron's got him in the conference finals record.
Yeah, I think he does. He does.
And he's gonna have him in points, rebounds, all time. That's just. That's never going to go away.
No, it's not.
So it all comes down. To me, it's going to always come back to who did you like to see, and to me, it was always. I love watching LeBron. I love watching Michael Jordan take over a game and say, and Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan said, "I want to score," nobody was going to stop him unless you put three guys on him and leave John Paxson or Steve Kerr sitting at the 3-point line.
Three guys you say. Three guys you say. You're a Celtics fan. I'll throw these three names at you. I'll throw three legends at you: Bird, McHale, and Parrish.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the way you're going to beat Michael is,
right.
And how are you going to beat Michael? Oh, wait, like the Detroit Pistons did.
Beat him
Literally beat him.
They beat him up.
Just beat the crap out of him for 6 games.
Right.
Just beat the crap out of him.
But then here's what
you can't do that. LeBron can't do that.
Right.
The other thing about LeBron is that you never see. Everybody always says, well, he made the right basketball play. How many right basketball plays are there? I mean, is Jordan's shot over Elo? Is that the right basketball play? No, it was not.
No,
it was not the right basketball play. But it was the right basketball play because Michael Jordan said, "I'm doing it. I'm taking this shot."
And that's the thing.
Was it the right play for him to take Russell and throw him out of the way and take that elbow jump shot? Probably not.
But it was the right play at that time.
There was probably a better pass to make. But Michael said, "I'm going to take this shot. I'm taking this shot no matter what. Nobody's going to stop me."
Oh boy, great discussion. Chris Dietz on the line with me. Can you come on later this week, if possible? 'Cause I'm going to do
Absolutely.
some more. Good. Let's do some more football discussion next week or later this week because I like your idea of your summer of greatness, and I want to borrow that, and I want you involved in putting that segment together for me.
Outstanding. Yeah, I'm all for it.
All right, Chris Dietz joining me on the hotline. Our hotline today is sponsored in part by Cleaver Supplements, pure supplements for when genetics are just not enough. Remember, summer's around the corner, folks, and if you're starting a new diet, starting a new exercise regimen, or both, and you need supplements that will help you out in terms of maintaining your weight, getting to your weight goal, or getting to your strength goal, or having better workouts and having better recovery from your workouts, remember, Cleaver Supplements is the way to go. Go to KLIEWER, cleaversupplements.com. for more information. Chris D's joining me. I can't wait to have you on later this week, brother.
All right, man. I can't wait.
Thanks, man. Appreciate the time.
All right. Thanks.
We'll close things out because I want to leave y'all. We talked about MJ's greatness and how he would assert himself at certain times. I want to take y'all back to April 20th, 1986, and this is how we'll close the show. The voices you will hear will be that of Jim Durham and Johnny Kerr. The station that carried the game was, I want to say, WMAQ in Chicago, where those two were the radio voices. It's game 2 of the first round, and this is the shot that Michael Jordan hit to give him his 62nd and 63rd point. And to illustrate a point that Chris Dietz made before he hung up the phone is, was this the right basketball play? Probably not, but it was the right basketball play according to MJ. This is how we'll close out, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Snowman out.
Michael Jordan against Danny Ainge. Michael on the drive across the lane. Turnaround shot. Got it. 63 for Jordan. The game is tied at 131 with 1:10 left. A new NBA record has been set in the Boston Garden by an all-time great. I don't care if he's only played a year and change. He ranks right up there with the all-timers.